Alright, fellas, it's been quite a while since we last did a reaction video. Over a month, I think, actually. Um, I woke up today and I saw this in my subscription box, so I'm quite interested to see the, what this video contains. Is it this hotkey? This one. Hey! Hiding the Secrets, a delve into secret mapping and classic Doom. Don't know what to expect. I guess there are some secrets I like. There are some secrets I don't like. Obviously, it's not a topic I can weigh in on unless I see, a kind of an idea presented in front of me on this. Like I played Wolfenstein 3D when I was a kid, right? So like I know all about untelegraphed secrets and how much they suck. But anyway. This is a Mtpain video, and Mtpain has given me consent to make this video. You've not seen the original, go to his channel, give him your first view, and come back here and we're going to watch this together. Like homies! Alright, what you got, Mr. Mountain? I really liked the Safe Scum video, so I'm happy to see another analysis video like this.
What was the first secret map you ever found in Doom?
That would be... Oh god, found. I have no idea. Technically would be, E3M9, I think, but I didn't really find that. I map selected that on Xbox Live, way back in like 2009. Found may very well have been E1M9 after I looked it up. No idea though, I'll be honest. No clue.
Did you manage to unravel John Romero's riddle in the dark halls of Toxin Refinery? Or stumble through a fiery portal in Sandy Peterson's command center? Perhaps you gambled with a rocket jump in Mount Erebus, or went back in time through the secret passage in Doom 2's Industrial Zone. Maybe you're like me, and your first Doom was Final Doom. In that case, you may have spent an afternoon solving the Rubik's Cube that is Dead Zone only to be stymied by a disappearing yellow key, or taking a detour from the Twilight to the two hardest maps the Casali brothers had ready for you. Or maybe you just warped directly to map 31 from the Doom 95 launcher, and that's okay too.
That's more or less what I did. Hiding the secrets.
Doom's level-based structure is more closely aligned with
Get it? Because it's the name of the song.
classic arcade games than the more continuous paradigm we see in mainstream modern video games. Nowadays, secret levels are much less common than systems of unlockable cosmetics, gear, lore, and Easter eggs. Even Doom's 2016 and Eternal preferred showering the player with collectible LPs and Funko Pop over proper secret maps, although both games nodded
You can't see it, but I did the fist bump too.
the concept. 2016 had classic level cameos, and Eternal had Slayer gates. For its part, the classic Doom modding scene has done plenty of evolving in the last 30 years, but its approach to packaging secret maps has stayed mostly the same. Doom 1 episodes always offer branching paths in E1M3, E2M5, E3M6, and E4M2, and
This is because in vanilla, at least they're hard-coded to be those specific maps. If you put a secret exit and another map that isn't one of these, it'll just restart the map, I'm pretty sure.
99% of Doom 2 Map 15s
Thank you for teaching me that, Casino.
contain two exits as well. Doom 1 episodes and Doom 2 Megawads are all but expected to contain secret maps. It's one of the most prevalent and consistent practices across the whole history of WAD making. What fascinates me is how the Doom community took 10 maps, Military Base, Fortress of Mystery, Warrens, Wolfenstein, Gross, Fear, Pharaoh, Caribbean, Cyberden, and Go To It, and made traditions out of them. In this video, I'm going to talk about popular approaches to secret mapping as they relate to the bonus iWAD maps, and offer examples for discussion.
I'm excited for this video. I'm excited for the topic of this video. I think this is a cool little idea. I'd love to see more of this.
So we'll be looking at
Little like history lessons almost.
content. Spoilers are inevitable, but most of the WADs I'll be referencing are pushing 10 years old, and I won't go into enough detail to rob
So I haven't played them yet. Got it.
you of a fresh first experience with any of these maps. I'm hoping that sharing my findings from 4 years of ardent dooming will inspire players to look a little harder for secret exits and embolden mappers to pursue their more off-the-wall ideas. So let's go to it.
Ha! I get it.
Sometimes the way a secret map is hidden is more exciting than the map itself. As secret stages go, E1M9 Military Base is pretty humdrum. It's got a rockin' soundtrack and a lot of barrels to blow up, but it doesn't offer very much to Knee Deep in the Dead besides the novelty of being unexpectedly discoverable.
Yeah, it's kind of just another level, which on the one hand is great because it's, you know, free content, essentially, if you think about it. It's free optional content that you might not find on your first playthrough, so it's a good pleasant surprise. On the other hand, there's no gimmick to it other than just the fact that it's hidden. And I'll talk about Fortress of Mystery and Warrens when the mountain gets there, but I have my stance on those as well. But it's where I think that on a first playthrough, I think Military Base is probably the weakest secret map. But on subsequent playthroughs, I think this is the second weakest secret map.
Luckily, E1M3 Toxin Refinery makes for a taut and very memorable preamble to it. Sharp-eared players will hear 2 secret walls open up in this room. One of them houses Doom's first rocket launcher, but wait, there's more. Clamber through this sewer pipe, smack the switch at the end of the tunnel, and you've just raised a bridge in the starting room to a mysterious new area. It's an intuitive lesson in treasure.
Maybe I did find this on my own. I don't remember. That's too long ago for me to remember. That's like 2009 for me.
Hunting and a blueprint for future mappers. Romero's Secret Within a Secret teaches you to use all of your senses, incentivizes venturing into dangerous areas for a long-term payoff, and rewards your curiosity with the one thing better than power-ups or new gear, the thrill of discovery. I should
New
agree
content.
that secret exit hunting in Doom can sometimes be maddening to the point where it cancels out the pleasure of uncovering new maps to play.
Yes.
Take E4M2 Perfect Hatred's secret exit, for example. Thy Flesh Consumed is all about pushing Doom's fundamental...
This one I had to look up. I remember specifically this I had to look up to find.
Gameplay elements to their extremes, but Romero asks you to take a leap of faith into lava after teleporting into this cyber pen to unlock E4M9. Is it a bit much? Probably, but hey, it's more fun than anything you'll find in Fear. Some secret levels are so hidden it seems like their creators never wanted them to be found. Hell Revealed Map 31 will forever elude non-cheaters.
Oh, when I was talking earlier about Military Base being the weakest one, that wasn't counting Fear. Fear, I was only talking about the first 3 episodes. When you factor in the 4th episode, then yeah, Fear is always the weakest one. Like, no question.
Unless they decipher WAD co-creator Jonathan Donner's info pack hint.
And this map is highly underrated, in my opinion, The Descent. The second half is kind of garbo, but this elevator fight, I gotta have a soft spot for elevator fights. Now, what were you saying, Mountain? I'm sorry.
So hidden, it seems like their creators... But hey, it's more fun than anything you'll find in Fear. Some secret levels are so hidden it seems like their creators never wanted them to be found. Hell Revealed Map 31 will forever elude non-cheaters unless they decipher WAD co-creator Jonathan Donner's info pack hint.
What was the... Oh yeah, this. Yeah.
Take a shot in the dark at the start of Map 15 and find 2 other switches to lower the barriers between you and the secret exit. In fairness to Donner, PWAD designers have little choice but to compensate creatively for their lack of control over where they can feasibly place secret exits. Doom 2 WADs are hard-coded to return players to Map 16 from secret levels, which essentially forces mappers to put the secret exit in Map 15 unless they're okay with skipping levels in between.
You know, I completely forgot about the secret exit in Requiem because I played it like over a year ago. At this point, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure I killed this Archvile because my instinct was, oh, an Archvile, let me kill it. And then I looked across the chasm and I'm like, oh, I know what needed to be done. And I'm pretty sure I just id-clipped across and made a bit out of it, but...
Or worse, making the player replay maps. Same goes for Doom 1. Map 9s forcibly return the player to predetermined slots unless you're mapping for an advanced source port or working with UMapInfo, which is complete witchcraft to me. 2 notable megawads
I don't know what you just said.
Subvert this restriction are Struggle and to Region Legacy, which makes traversal of maps 31 and 32 mandatory as part of an intergalactic excursion between maps 15 and 16, and No End in Sight, which cleverly repurposes its 3rd episode to have 2 secret maps instead of 1. Leaving E3M4 through the so-called regular exit actually sends the player to map 9 and then map 7, skipping maps 5 and 6, which have been tooled up for players seeking a serious challenge. Some secret maps are impossible to access without cheating. These map 33s, typically outtakes or Xbox exclusive maps that nobody should ever play, take the unutilized...
Damn, alright. Okay. Alright, making your opinion on those real clear.
These, typically outtakes or Xbox exclusive maps that nobody should ever play, take the unutilized extra map slots that live in Doom's code and use them to store levels that can't be reached unless you id-clev. Some notable map 33s include Plutonia 2's Chocolate.
Oh, I forgot about... Oh my god, dude. I'm... Context if you're watching this and don't watch my other content. I'm playing Plutonia 2 right now, and as of recording this, I just finished map 32. I forgot there was a map 33. I'm gonna have to figure out where I'm gonna play that. Because I was looking at the status bar and I was like, huh, that looks really familiar.
It wasn't even listed in the text file, and must have been found either by accident or by word of mouth back in 2008. Speed of Doom's Descent to Nowhere, and Good Morning Phobos' Skulls facility. Unlike its brother iWads, the Plutonia experiment doesn't hide its secret maps very carefully at all. Not only that, you're locked into playing both of them once you hit the secret quantum accelerator. The story text famously warns the player that they better have a save a level or two previous in case they can't hack the difficulty hike. Megawads rarely give players access to secret maps for free, and even more rarely sign them up for twofers, so it's worth pointing out that the Casale brothers' approach to secret map access is still relatively unconventional. Luckily for us, the lukewarm E1M9 and E4M9 are the exceptions rather than the rule when it comes to being outshined by how they're hidden. Romero wrote the book on secret hiding, but Sandy Peterson wrote the Necronomicon on their design.
The gimmick maps.
E2M9 and E3M9 set the precedent that secret Doom maps are expected to do something different. Of course, Peterson didn't invent video game gimmicks, nor did he put his best ideas into his secret maps for Shores of Hell and Inferno, but the way he built maps around particular quirks percolated through Doom modding's entire history. Today, gimmickry is strongly encouraged.
This is a MIDI from Icarus Alien Vanguard, I'm pretty sure.
If not expected, in secret maps. Fortress of Mystery introduced players to the joy of monster infighting by under-equipping them for a big battle with two of Doom's nastiest non-boss monsters, and Warren's pranked the player with a copycat of E3M1 that turns into a much more difficult, inverted version of itself when you walk over the fake exit.
Fortress of Mystery, I think, is an underrated map. I think that gets a lot of unnecessary flack for just what it is in isolation. I think on a first playthrough, you're going to be completely taken unaware by the four barons you're surrounded by, because you're going to panic and run, and you're going to open the door, and there's going to be like 10 cacos there, or however many cacos, and you're going to be panicking. So I think on a first playthrough, I think it's a solid map. I think after that it's Garbo, but I think for that initial shock value, I think that leaves the impression. Warren's is a map that I think is always going to be good, because that's just a great idea. With the prank that was just mentioned, I think that's a very good idea for a secret map. So go Warren's. Warren's wins the prize for best secret map in Ultimate Doom.
Peterson's willingness to experiment and buck player expectations agrees with the retro arcade game definition of secret stages, especially Warren's, with its higher difficulty and you did it going forwards, now do it backwards premise. Gimmick maps were a staple of classic Megawads in the 90s and early aughts. Prestidigitation from Icarus Alien Vanguard gleefully exploits Doom's engine to make structures disappear,
cool.
And also showcase the favorite trick of Team TNT's, the deep water effect. Alien Vendetta's killer colors is one of the simplest and most endearing of all gimmick maps. Its three realms are color coordinated down to their demon inhabitants.
Solid map as well.
Culminates in a massive battle that gives you an invulnerability, which turns the screen white, combining all the colors. Scythe 2's secret maps are as gimmicky as they can, and very self-aware of their optional status. Simply titled Secret, Map 31 pits the player against 8 super fast doppelgangers deathmatch style. Those red buggers make catching the super secret exit notoriously difficult. As if to prove Sandy Peterson's significance to secret mapping, Map 32 Super Secret is Warren's Eric Alm edition, a remake of Scythe Map 1 that unleashes hell when the
kind of just gave up on naming the maps, I think.
Player hits the supposed exit switch. We'd be here all day if I tried to list every gimmicky secret map in existence, but it's worth mentioning some more contemporary examples to illustrate how imaginative mappers have gotten with them. Troisième d'Agonie du Map 32 specially modified its reject table to make the player invisible to monsters while standing on the titular safe zones. Valiant Map 32 dehacked several new ghost monster varieties just to sell one spooky sequence. Sidonia Map 31 is constructed around mandatory archvile and rocket jumps, which means I've never actually completed it. And Excision Map 32 intentionally forces an intercept overflow bug, triggering the normally game-breaking All Ghosts effect, which disables collision for the player, all monsters, and projectiles. Gimmick maps tend to receive less respect than more formalist outings, but they're a concept tailor-made for secret slots. They're a change of pace, allow mappers to experiment, and reward intrepid Doom venturers with something memorable and new.
Yeah, that's like awesome. That's what a secret map should be, in my opinion. Like, that's just why I have a soft spot for Fortress of Mystery and like Warren's. I mean, have something stand out. Have something be eye catchy.
90s era id Software.
All right. Now these secret maps. Let me hear what he says first.
Wasn't much for looking in the rearview mirror. In the span of about 6 years, the team cranked out 3 increasingly sophisticated engines on their way to reshaping the landscape of PC gaming. At some point between the release of Doom and Doom 2, they must have realized just how quickly they were progressing, because John Carmack suggested designing Wolfenstein 3D maps for Doom's sequel. The now seasoned mapping veteran Sandy Peterson acquiesced to the idea, and created a pair of levels that 1. Gently jabbed at Wolf's old art style, 2. Demonstrated Doom's technological superiority in the form of this legendary super secret that exposed height changes, animated textures, lighting, and non-orthogonal lines, and 3.
And ceiling textures.
Acknowledged to the fans that id knew where they came from and how much they had grown. Oh, and 4. Adrian Carmack finally got to give Commander Keen the finger. The Wolfenstein inaugurated a long tradition of referential, humorous, and non-sequitur-ish maps and community secret mapping. To start with, Doom 2 birthed the whole subgenre of wolf-themed Doom maps, with some notable Mein Leben appearing in Whispers of Satan, Hellbound, and Nostalgia. But it didn't take long for modders to iterate and expand on id Software-related references. Requiem Map 31 by...
Didn't even mention the best part of the... best, in quotes, part of the Wolfenstein map from Whispers of Satan. If you know, you know. Yeah, when I played this map, by the way, I didn't know this was Quake level. Because I hadn't played Quake 1 yet. So, this map gets extra bonus points for me now that I know.
Ike Karanen is a partial remake of Quake E1 M6, The Door to Cthon. It took similar relish in flexing the Doom engine's capabilities, but also seemed to mourn its inevitable deprecation at the hands of Quake's advanced tech. Yeah, right. Doom 2, the way it did secret maps, explode Commander Keen's supporting role into a fully fledged adventure called Vorticon. It's chock full of custom textures and trades pinkies and SS troopers for Yorks and Gargs. Map 32 goes even further, pushing you down the well of wishes for a terrifying 1v1 with that king of FPS references, the Dopefish. A symptom of including wolf graphics and SS troopers in Doom 2's game files was people feeling the need to use them. Let's face it, these silly, fat-headed Schustoffels don't have a prayer of blending in with Doom's standard assets, and their SFX are way too goofy to take seriously. As such, the SS bring an improbable levity to most of the maps they belong to. Gross is particularly irreverent, with its surplus of secrets, zany Cyberdemon boss fight, and hanged Keens blocking the exit. Given id's implicit permission, it stands to reason that the community would want to crack jokes of their own in slot 31 and 32, but there's no accounting for taste or consistent methodology where this is concerned. Whispers of Satan Map 32's super...
Yeah!
Secret Cyberdemon sex dungeon is one of the most shameful examples of a Doom wad abandoning decorum for the lols, but the Anna Dream from the 10x10 project might be the steepest drop in quality, intentional or otherwise, from a wad's regular roster to its secret slots. Going Down and 3 as a crowd use story text to humorously contextualize their secret maps.
I'm not reading this, I haven't played it yet.
Doom guy losing signal during a self-conversation with his mother to justify the trip back up this emergency stairwell in Going Down Map 31, and Cypec 2 uses his 31 slot as a sort of cutscene. Check it out.
I'm still not looking because I still haven't played this, and I'll forget by the time I get there, actually. Oh!
Sunlust's super secret map is best known for its double take-worthy title and rather unfair combat, but it also produced one of the most chuckle-worthy text file commentaries I've read. Danny Babinga says, "Tired of maps being too hard? Then I could recommend practice. Practice is fun and good for you. Kill 2 cyberdemons in a smallish room with bumpy floors or face 50 revenants without any room to dodge. Everything is fun if you just practice. Been shotgunning Barons since 1994? Try map 32 of Sunlust. It's a good map, I promise. Best map ever. Doom Guy. 0 out of 5. Won't play again. Anonymous." As the Doom community accumulated folk heroes, secret maps paying homage to designers not on id's payroll began to appear with increasing frequency. Epic 2 Map 31's opening view automatically invokes Andre Malda's Misery Halak from Alien Vendetta. Hellbound Map 31's ravaged Technoscape and Commander Keen's Scavenger Hunt wink directly at Speed of Doom, and A2 Rob's Machete from this year serves up a pair of secret maps that hit the same beats as Scythe 2's. Map 31's Slayer is another evil marine playground with a merciless secret exit timer, and Map 32, Running Late, amps up the first map of an earlier A2 Rob wad the same way Alm did with Get Going. Festering Wicked Helix sectors from Resurgence is perhaps the most
like 4 of them, yeah.
all homage-based secret maps.
Beneath the Festering Moon, And the other ones.
Joshi fused set pieces and visuals from 4 signature Zazer maps into one spiraling, time-traveling, self-constructing experience. Some mappers use secret slots to escape id-Tech's gravitational pull entirely. JPCP Map 32 remakes a level from Payday the Heist out of line defs and sectors, complete with a 5-minute timer on a safe deep within the map, and police retaliation in the form of a demon ambush. The only constant in Doom 2-style secret maps is the protected right to break.
Oh yeah, Genesis. I'll be playing this soon.
As such, mappers will always be excused for using their 31 and 32 slots as wind-downs, gags, and tips of their caps.
Yeah, it's a break from, like, all the other WODs, like, other WODs. It's a break from, like, the other maps, like, the canon, like, suspense-building maps, you know? It's kind of just take a load off, just chill out, relax. Or, in this case, die!
The argument could be made that Fortress of Mystery or Warrens minted the idea of secret maps being reserved for special challenges, but the Plutonia experiment stole Sandy Peterson's thunder with overkill and undiluted swagger. Go To It has commonly been credited with founding the slaughter map genre since its Screaming Legions first dropped Jaws in '96, and it inadvertently spawned a meme naming convention that nearly every Plutonia-style megawad has followed since. Plutonia 2's Go For It, PRCP's Have At It, and Sidonia's Get On It all follow the same formula. Borrow a basic structure from a famous map.
I'd love to know why it's called Go To It. I would love to know the idea behind that.
At 1, fill it with monsters, supplies, and cyber demons, then follow the title's instructions. Of course, challenging secret maps have not been confined to Plutonia tribute projects. Mostly Harmful from Hell Revealed was built to knock the socks off players persistent enough to find it, and Hell Revealed 2 upped the ante even further. Jonas Farragon's
fantastic
map
map.
is still an essential rung on the slaughter ladder for up-and-coming punishment seekers. With a bit of help from Heretic and Hell Revealed, Alien Vendetta's No Guts, No Glory patented the trope of the castle map with
kind of an ass map, if I'm being honest, but
which got airtime in Hell Revealed 2 and Kama Sutra's first secret map. Fire King Says No Cheating from Back to Saturn X Episode 2 has too many monsters to accommodate saving if you play it on the vanilla EXE.
Those
familiar with Joshi's work should have seen that coming. He's also the mastermind behind Speed of Doom's.
This will also be very soon.
Which pushes the limits of sanity even within a megawad known for making boys into men. Akeldama's 32nd map by Doom Kid and Valkyrie Force is an excellent contemporary example of a standing room only monster map.
Hey, I'm sorry, what was that map called? Operation Pump and Dump.
Valkyrie Force is an excellent contemporary example of a standing room only monster mash that harkens back to the Kasali's brand of mayhem. Fair warning, it is a lot longer than Go To It. Speaking of too many monsters, the non-mandatory nature of secret maps makes them ideal homes for excessively large maps. Nova 2 Map 32, Valiant Map 31, Of Eternity Map 32, and Resurgence Map 32 all have the highest monster counts in their respective megawads, though kill counts tend to correlate more with par time than difficulty. Cyber War 7734, for instance, gives you 18 supercharges, 11 megaspheres, and 8 invulnerabilities to help you tame its armies. Sometimes there are maps that can be so unpleasant or prohibitively difficult that they would be unable to function in the regular roster, and there's no better example of such a map than Down the Drain from its namesake megawad. Maps 1 to 30 showcase Benjogami at his most accessible, but Map 31 takes full advantage of the assumption that players seeking secret maps know what they're getting into. I expected hyper-challenging maps to be prevalent before researching for this video, but it turns out they're a bit more niche than I expected. My theory is that challenging secret maps have a larger presence in secret mapping proportional to their representative body because of how intimidating Cyberden and Go To It were back in the day. Those maps capitalized on two of the most prehistoric sensations that Doom can make you feel: fear in the face of overwhelming odds, and white-hot adrenaline in the bloody fray. Secret slots are tailor-made havens for mappers to take the gloves off and for players to put their skills to the test, if they wish.
Now for something completely different.
TNT Evolution is the black sheep of the 4 IWADs. It can't compete with Doom's 1 and 2 for classic status, and lacks the popularity among challenge seekers that Plutonia enjoys, but it does have a soundtrack of mostly bespoke MIDIs, which lends an eerie, ineffable feel to many of its maps.
I feel it has the best soundtrack of the 4 IWADs, I think. Although that would probably depend on the day that you ask me, but I think today I'm in a TNT mood, so.
This has unofficially earned Evolution the mantle of the most atmospheric or cinematic IWAD. Megawad. The contrarian TNT also fails to adhere to the secret map design principles we've already discussed. Dario Casali's Pharaoh and Caribbean aren't in-jokes, they're not tremendously difficult or especially well hidden, and I hesitate to call them gimmicks except insofar as their settings are radically different from what you see in the regular roster. Pharaoh is one of the earliest in a long line of Egypt-themed Doom maps, and Caribbean is Casali's rough-hewn rendering of a vacation spot he visited around the time of Evolution's development. Both maps feel thematically out of place, and their hostility simmers but never quite boils over. They make you feel like you've stumbled into a place you don't belong in. TNT has fewer send-ups of its secret maps
It's a funny
than
haha.
Megawads do. Anubis from TNT Revolution and Power Slave from Nostalgia are two exceptions, if you believe Pharaoh deserves an inspiration.
Iron Maiden, haha!
For every Egypt map.
Oh yeah, right. It's
I've yet
yeah.
to see Caribbean
That's right.
too.
That
So
whole
what's
wad
the
is
deal?
user.
Why
no,
don't
metal
TNT's
stuff.
secret maps get any respect? Well, my theory is they actually do. But it's harder to identify TNT's influence because it's much broader and more abstract. I like to refer to its discipline as now for something completely different, or the great beyond. Two flavors of the idea.
It doesn't stand out as much as like the gimmicky maps of Doom 1, the flashbacks of Doom 2, or the brutal challenge of Plutonia. It's kind of just it doesn't stand out. It kind of just is meant to just be exactly what you said, now for something completely different. It's meant to be kind of just its own thing.
That secret maps should be sandboxes in which mappers can free themselves from a Megawad's prevailing tone or philosophy, jettison the player to self-contained anomalous worlds, or sometimes both at once. Unsurprisingly, Team TNT proved itself adept at this sort of thing with their post-evolution work. Jim Lowell's Great Balls of Fire and Ty Halderman's Prestidigitation throw Icarus Alien Vanguard's gameplay staples and visual code out the window. But
however, that first map is not great.
Jim Flynn's Monster Mansion outstrips them both with
this map also kind of sucked, but I feel like I would need to play it again to really know that for sure. But because I know my first playthrough, I didn't care for this.
Sheer ingenuity. One of Eternal Doom's more palatable puzzle boxes, Monster Mansion yanks the player out of the Megawad's medieval middle act for a lengthy tour of an ultramodern estate rigged with all kinds of traps, gizmos, and mapping trickery. TNT alumnus Tom Mustaine graduated to Perdition's Gate, whose secret maps certainly qualify for Great Beyond classification. The planet of living rock and the sea of radioactive waste harbor surreal visuals, eclectic combat, and bear absolutely no resemblance to the typical environments found in the mainline progression. You might be sitting here wondering why TNT deserves the masthead for such a vague, intersectional, and potentially huge category of secret mapping, so let me define their sphere of influence a bit more clearly. Pharaoh's ancient presence and sense of foreboding are its two most prominent attributes. Most people will remember three things about it: the Egypt theme, L.A. Seaban's somber MIDI, and the tug of discomfort they felt walking around dark and empty areas in silence. Caribbean is much the same, except more overtly sinister. The archvile sewer traps, monster closets, and overwhelming ending all bludgeon the player who blindly expects a vacation after skipping the story text. TNT Evolution patented
the zombie man
dread of the unknown in secret maps.
It's a good trap. It's a good zombie man trap.
Doom's secret stages, lightheartedness of Doom 2's, and aggression of Plutonia's cannot compete with TNT's mastery of the strange. 666 in binary from Speed of Doom epitomizes precisely the weirdness I'm talking about. It's a hopeless dystopian battleground that revels in ironic contrast between its lifeless formations and furious action, between the open field slaughter and restricted weapon and monster varieties, between the menace of its visuals and the soaring beauty of its MIDI, between its grim violence and whimsical Commander Keen's search and find.
A MIDI that will also make Decino mad if you mention it, Aram.
101-001-1010 brims with existential angst.
Great name, by the way.
Wave's combat brilliance and Stewboy's MIDI keep it from burning a hole in your stomach. I lied before. Good Morning Phobos Map 31 by Sin City 2100 might as well be Caribbean 2, giving you a false sense of security for a little longer than Casali did before pulling back the curtain on the horror. Chopkinska's Sodding Death from Community Chest 2 is a powerhouse of suspense that, even within a community project,
this map aged well in my brain, actually, when I played it.
Distances itself from the more straightforward entries with a slow burn progression, penetrating darkness, and minimalist MIDI. Rufy's secret map from Songe Treva Minute pour Vivre creates a similar
I'm sorry, what? From I don't know what you just told me.
A minimalist MIDI. Rufy's secret map from Songe Treva Minute pour Vivre creates a similar environmental
Alright.
discomfort with endlessly respawning shadow monsters seemingly fueled by the same evil that sustains this broken dream. Both of Nova the Birth secret maps command a similar uncanniness. You know you're not in Kansas anymore when you wake up in Dobu Gabu Maru's Iron Exuviae, which won't let you fight a single monster until you solve its riddles. Its up-tempo sing-song MIDI clashes with the claustrophobia endemic to being trapped in a giant Lovecraft
Yeah, I
furnace,
remember this
and the
from the
atmosphere
Nova video.
complements Dobu's angular gameplay with just the right amount of wrong. Then you get Getsu Fune's Riptide, which initially seems cheerier and more innocent. Oh, look at that seaweed. But the near total lack of ammo, health, and weaponry makes it arguably less accessible than Iron Exuviae. Such stubborn outliers would never have worked in a main roster, even one as unorthodox as Nova's. Of course, this is not the only approach that people take with their off-brand secret maps. A more prosaic example of something completely different would be Imperator and Anagnorisis from Eternity, which are the only two maps that don't adhere to a predefined visual motif. The same can be said for the secret maps in any episodic Megawad. Scythe 2, Valiant, the 1000 Lines community projects, Atonement, Resurgence, and Ancient Aliens all qualify. Speaking of which, one of the quintessential examples of a non-gimmick, something completely different style map that not coincidentally whisks the player off to a literally alien place is Stewboy's Grey Dwarf. Its mysterious vibes, rampant optional areas, and incongruity with Skillsaw's gameplay ethos make it an acquired taste for most, but a hidden gem for many. It's the kind of map that, to me, makes this category of secret maps the most appealing. Going into map 31, I don't want to be able to guess what's going to happen next. Some of you will automatically understand the appeal of these kinds of maps. When a game can untether us from reality, lead us through a twisted or unfathomable place, and then bring us back home, it makes home cozier and leaves us with tantalizing memories. I mostly associate this phenomenon with movies, but if Doom couldn't replicate and sometimes exceed cinema's capacity,
okay, I didn't know that happened.
The outer reaches of human imagination, I wouldn't still be playing it.
The ultimate secret map.
Let's put it all together now. If I had to pick a Doom 2 Megawad whose maps 31 and 32 best encapsulate what secret mapping is all about, I would choose Nova 3. For starters, map 15's brain trust of designers buried the secret exit in an obscure side passage and locked it behind 3 doors that need secret skull keys, so you'll feel very accomplished before you even step foot in map 31. Solar Powered by Big Ol' Billy immediately distinguishes itself with its
still a great name,
dazzling
Big Ol'
skybox,
Billy.
Mesoamerican future tech hybrid aesthetic, and a unique progression gimmick hinted at by its title. Your main objective is to manipulate the map's sleeping machinery such that the booming skybox sun shines on 5 solar panels, which power the bridge that leads to the regular exit. If you survive the treacherous shootout way up high, backtrack to this tucked away ruin in the lava, and you'll be faced with a pre-colonial brain teaser followed by a ferocious battle with a host of heliolatrous fiends. It's an instantly engrossing, creative, and unusual map that overlaps gimmickry, challenge, obscurity, and idiosyncrasy. But next to its compadre in the 32 slot, it looks downright conventional. Behold, Fire Blue Palace, the ultimate secret map. I've spent this entire video discussing qualities that distinguish secret maps from regular ones, and Fire Blue Palace embodies pretty much all of them. Fire Blue Palace is deliriously gimmicky, BFG only, color coordinated, limited to 3 monster types. Fire Blue Palace is a challenge. Bemused and Scotty throw archviles and cyber demons at you like they're going out of style, and toss in high-stakes platforming at the end as an afterthought. Fire Blue Palace is a meme. It's slathered in one of Doom's most infamous textures. It looks intricate, but it's brazenly copy-pasted, and on Ultraviolence there are exactly 69 monsters. Nice. Fire Blue Palace is something completely different and dwells in the outer reaches of the great beyond. It's not just anomalous in Nova 3. Even compared to other Voidscape maps, it's unusually jaunty, irreverent, and self-conscious, almost like a parody of the genre. In spite of this, I can't help but be fascinated by its psychedelic dream world. It so enthralled me on first encounter that even its terrible Z-Doom performance couldn't bum me out or turn me off it. I love this map, chintz and all, because it could only exist as a special find in a video game, and it gives me that tingly, primeval feeling of I'm not supposed to be here. That, to me, is what secret maps are all about.
I agree!
This video is by no means
Mucus flow!
Many more weird and wonderful Doom worlds await your discovery.
Oh, that looks cool.
Mappers, if you're sitting on a wacky idea, allow me to be your starting gun today. Don't keep your creativity to yourself. I promise. Right now, someone, somewhere, is eagerly awaiting your imagination. Before I go, I'd like to extend a special thanks to my generous patrons. Aaron Allen.
Hey, alright! Let me see here. Let me skip past the patron list. Sorry, patrons. Myself included, I'm one of them.
B1289, Trilby Trillion, Turbine 2K5, Why Bimo Not a Crab, William Huber, and Waukeshack. Happy dooming, everyone. This is Mtpain27, signing off.
Bye! That was a great video, dude. I thirst even for more videos like this. This is so cool. I love these kinds of videos. I love these kinds of history lessons and discussions and all that stuff. Oh, that was awesome. Alright. I don't know why. This is like day 4 in a row of me having a headache, so I'm gonna go lay down and rest my head. Good night, friends.